Good afternoon. Welcome to my Facebook Live. Today is July 11th. And today I'm sharing with you my monthly virtual card class. So today I will be stamping with the Splendid Thoughts stamp set. And I'll be using the Splendid Stems dies as well. Hey Lori, thanks for joining. So if you're just joining, say hello. Let me know you're watching. So for those that placed an order using this hostess code, the kits will be in the mail on Wednesday, so you'll be getting the supplies to make the cards that I share with you today. If you haven't ordered, you still have time to order, so place a $35 or more order and I will automatically cut you a kit and get it in the mail to you, and then I will email you the link to this video so that you can recreate the cards. If you don't have the Splendid Thoughts, maybe you have something that's similar you could use, or you might just fall in love with it and decide you have to have it, so then that would help you get to the $35 mark. So I'll post this hostess code with this video when I'm done. Okay, if you spend $50 or more, you get my monthly tutorial bundle for free as well, and that comes through email. So hi Kathleen, thanks for joining us from Florida. What else? I'm sorry I'm late. I was looking for a die that came out of this set that I didn't find, so I'm gonna have to improvise on that card, but hopefully I will find it. So what else? If you do get a kit in the mail, it will come with this sheet. This will tell you, in case you're not able to do the kit right away, it will tell you the stamp set that's featured on that kit, so you'll know what to reach for. And also, if you place regular orders with me, you can keep track of when you're ordering, and if you order in 5 consecutive months, you'll get a $25 shopping spree. So you just have to keep track of the dates and then get in contact with me and get this back to me when you have those all filled out, all the little stars, and then you'll get $25 for free. So I will go ahead and get started. So this is this new Splendid Thoughts, and it's in the new holiday catalog, and it comes with coordinating dies. And I love that there's something in the holiday catalog that is not holiday. So I know it seems a little early for it to be coming out, but a lot of people like to get started on their Christmas cards, and especially if you have a lot of Christmas cards to make, it's really helpful to get that catalog out early, so those that need to can buy their stamp sets and start designing and creating their cards. So this, I'm loving this suite. If you're a demonstrator and you participated in Creativity Now, you got to pre-order this and get some fun ideas with it. Along with this suite, we have the open leaf trinkets. So these are a lot of fun. You can tie them onto your cards. And I love that they're kind of a different color. It's almost like a rose gold color. So there's those. And then there's also this ribbon, which is a sheer ribbon. It's seam binding. So we had the seam binding several years back. You might remember we had it in Cherry Cobbler. That was my favorite, probably. But so we have it again now. So, and this is really fun to play with on your cards. It's very, it has it's easy to work with. It has a lot of give and stuff. So, okay, what else? I'll share the other items as we go. Okay, and if you're watching the replay, feel free to pause and as often as you need to. I will be posting these cards on my Facebook page after, so you can see what the photographs look like. So I'll just go ahead and jump in, okay? So the first card that we're going to make is this one here. And this features the designer series paper that's in this suite, and it's called Splendid Day 12 by 12 designer series paper. And this is fun because each of the sheets in here, one side is shiny and then the other side is matte. So one side has the foil on it, and it has the different colors. We have a rose gold, we have copper. We have this one, which is the color is the soft sea foam, so it kind of looks like a light gold on the foil side. And then we have this one. This one coordinates with the fresh freesia, so you can see on the back side. So these are lots of fun, and I love that one side is foil and the other side is matte. So that's part of the suite as well. So I'll be using it on a couple of my cards today. Okay, so for this first card, we're using the designer series paper, and I just cut a strip of it, and then this is 1.5 inches, and I cut 1.5 inch squares. Okay, so I'm going to use 3 of those. And this card is pretty simple and basic. Okay, so in your kit you'll already get these die cut pieces, so you'll just need to have a sentiment stamp if you don't have this stamp set. If you do, you're all set. Okay, so I decided to do the die cutting on the camera today. We'll see how this turns out, because I know some people are not familiar with the die cutting machine, so I wanted to show it. So for this card, we're going to cut out these 2 pieces, one out of basic white and one off of the Sahara sand. Okay, so I have my basic white here and my Sahara sand. Pull my machine over. We'll see how this works out. I think it'll be fine. And put these in, and I can actually cut them at the same time. So I'm just going to put my white here with the die on there. You may not be able to see all of this, but you'll see it go through. And then this one here, and then layer my top layer on, and when I run it through, it'll cut those out for me. And I love that the dies, they cut the insides out. You could cut it out of 2 different colors and place different colors in there if you wanted to. Kind of do like a paper piecing. It's a lot of fun. Okay, while we have this out here, I'm going to cut one more of these in this color. This is, what color is this? Coastal Cabana. I'm going to need this for another card, so I'm just going to do it since it's right here. We'll need that for our next card. Okay. Okay, so this card is pretty simple. It's 2 layers. It's basic white on basic white. Okay, sure you guys can see here. I love layering white on white. I think it looks really elegant. And the ink pads I'm using today, Sahara Sand, Fresh Freesia, Mint Macaron, and the Polished Pink. Okay. If you get this kit and you don't have those ink colors, you can substitute with whatever you have. You can also use markers. So buying the markers is a great way if you don't have all the ink colors and you're on a budget. That's what I did when I very first started. I joined a marker club through my upline, and got all the markers because I just had to have all the colors. So, okay. And then we have our little squares here that are 1.5 inches, okay? And so all we're going to do is stamp our sentiment on our card base. Okay. And then we'll fold our card base. And I'll move my ink pad out of the way. And then I'm going to use my Seal Plus, Stampin' Seal Plus. Oh, it's out. Is it out or is it messed up? Let's see. I'm not sure. Might have to use something else. Let's see. Yeah, it's messed up. Okay. Let's see. I'll get another one. Sorry, guys. One of the things that kind of baffled me, and I don't know if anybody out there has heard anything, but I kind of wondered why Stampin' Up put a resealable thing on here. Because if you're going to open it, I would think you would open it because you need to use it, right? So I'm not sure why, unless maybe you wanted to interchange the Seal Plus with the seal, but I think it would be easier just to buy 2 applicators. But anyway, so if anybody knows why this might have a seal on it, that'd be interesting to know. Okay, so I'm going to lay this down, and then for my squares, I'm going to use liquid glue because it'll give me a little bit of time to move it around, okay, to get it to where I want it. So I'm using the Tombow. You don't need that much. It's going to kind of squish out. So I like to put my center one down first. If you want to be exact, you can use the grids. I'm not exact when I do this. I just eyeball it. So put 1, 2, and 3, and then when I get them where I want them, then I'll push it down. And you want to be kind of careful. I like to put a piece of cardstock on top when I rub it like this, because if you don't, and sometimes you can move these after the fact. So, and then they're not where you wanted them to begin with, okay? So then we're just going to add on these little pieces here. And again, I'm going to use my Tombow. And I just put a little bit on the thicker parts, like so, and I'm going to have it kind of going off onto the white. And then my Sahara sand. And I don't glue down the little edges here because I kind of want them to pop up. I feel like it makes it a little more fragile, but I think that's the beauty of handmade cards. So there's our first card. Okay. And the next card we're going to do looks like this. So again, this one's pretty simple, and I'm going to show you how to use the stamps to make a background on this one. So again, we're using that Designer Series paper, and for this class, I am using. Let me find my embellishments. Hold up. Tried to get everything together before I started, And we're using these. So these are the Fine Sparkle Adhesive Back Gems. And these are new in the holiday catalog. They're in the section where you'll find the gnomes. So those have been really popular right now. So maybe you've seen them over there. And I like to kind of switch up the embellishments and use them with different things, different stamp sets and things than what is featured in the catalog. And what led me to use this one is it has this here, which is the Pale Papaya, which is part of the in colors that I'm using. I'm not using this in color, but it's part of those. And then this one that's kind of like the Pool Party. And then there's one under here that is Coral. Let me find my open package though. Sorry guys. There we go. Okay, so on this one, you can see underneath there. So if you're getting the kit to go, I will give you a whole strip of these. You won't need them all, so you'll have some extras to play with. Okay. So for this card, I'm doing the color on color. I'm starting out with the Sahara Sand base and then putting a Sahara Sand layer on. And then we're using this Designer Series paper and the coordinating color, which is Coastal Cabana. Or no, Pool Party, sorry. It's Pool Party on that one. Okay. And so then I cut this out for this card. This is the Coastal Cabana. Okay. And then I just used my circle, one of my circle dies from the New Shapes dies that I'll be using on everything. I think they're a staple. You must have them. Okay. So that's how I got the circle. Again, if you get this kit in the mail, everything that's die cut that doesn't need to be stamped first will be die cut for you. Okay. So. Okay, and again, we're using the Sahara Sand on this card. Okay, so let's create our background. I'll show you how we do that. So in the stamp set, it has this stamp, which is the drawn image, the lined image of the plant. And then it has this one that's kind of like filler, but it doesn't quite fit it exactly. Neither one of these fit the plants exactly, and that's on purpose. It's to kind of create like abstract color within the image. Okay, so same sentiment, and then we are going to use these two. So I need a larger block for that one, and that one will fit on that one. Okay, so to do our background is very simple. I'm going to stamp randomly the lined image, and then I'm going to come back in and fill it in with this one. And it's tone on tone, so it's all done in Sahara Sand. Okay. So I'm going to ink that up, and I'm going to come in and just stamp it randomly. Keep in mind the center of the center is going to be covered, so it's okay if you have kind of a bare spot there. Okay, and then we'll go like that, and then we're just going to come in with the solid one, and you kind of line it up. You just kind of put it where the leaves are, but it's not going to be exact. And that's on purpose. Let's see, this one. There's the larger one. There we go. And the fun thing about that, and it being two different stamps, is you can do different colors if you want. So, and it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just a background. All right, so we have those, and then we'll take our sentiment and stamp it on a circle. I'm just sending hugs again. This is a nice card. It'd be good as a sympathy, get well. You can just write your message inside. Because usually we don't plan when we need a sympathy card, so, or when someone gets sick, so. Okay, so fold that in half. That's our base. Okay, and then we're ready to assemble. Having a heck of a time with this today. And I forgot to wipe my surface here. Okay, hold on. We're going to put that down. And let me clean that off. It got on my card, but it just adds to the background. No biggie, right? Okay, and then we're just going to adhere this to this piece here. And then I kind of put it off to the center. Off to the side. Okay. And then I am going to put dimensionals on this little piece, but I want to glue this piece down first so I can hide that stem under there. So again, just a little Tombow. And I want that to lie over the designer series paper. Okay, so then I have that, and then okay, and so then we'll embellish it with some of these, and I'm just going to use the same Pool Party color. Oops. I like to press them down so that sometimes the glue dot doesn't come up with them. So that's what I'm doing, if you're wondering. Put that one there. So there's our second card. Sweet and simple. Okay. So on to our third card, and this is the card that I can't find one of the dies, but I'm going to improvise, so we'll be fine. So here's the card. Okay, and so this one features some of the other different dies, and then also this one that's kind of like a pot. Some people have used it as a pot, some people have turned it the other direction. This is the piece I'm missing, of course. So I'm going to improvise and use my oval, double oval punch in the meantime. You'll see on this card there's a piece of vellum, and that comes from this, which is the Lovely Layers 3 3/4 by 5 vellum pack. This is in the annual catalog, and when you get it and you open it up, it actually looks like this. So it has some printed vellum, and then it has a bunch of just basic white vellum. Okay, so that's what we're using. I'm using this because it's quick and easy and I don't need to cut it. Okay. So, to start our card, we start with Petal Pink base. Okay. And then we have our sheet of vellum, and then we're going to get our pieces together, and then we'll assemble it. Okay. So I've already cut these pieces out here. And these are using the dies, and we have Soft Sea Foam, and then this is Pool Party. Okay. Alright. And then I have a scrap piece of paper in here, like this, which we will stamp the pink on and then die cut that out. Okay. And since I'm missing my die, I'm just going to cut from the oval for now. Hopefully I find it. If not, your kit will probably have an oval also. So I'm going to do both of them. I think I want to make sure it's going to have enough room for the words. I think I might use this one. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is just cut the top off. I'm going to use my long scissors so I can just do one straight cut. Straight across, like so. Okay. And so on here we need to stamp. We are going to stamp in the polished pink. The lined leaf image, the largest one in the stamp set. Okay. Now you'll have this sheet of Whisper White in your kit, but it won't be stamped and it won't be die cut. So if you don't have the stamp set, you'll have to find something else to use. Okay. And then I'm going to take the fresh freesia and we'll stamp our sentiment, which we are going to use Let's Celebrate. That's the other thing I love about the stamp set. It can be birthday, it can be sympathy, it could be wedding, all different kinds of themes in it. It doesn't just have to be one. Okay, let's celebrate. So here, take that and stamp it on there, just like so. So that'll be our little pot for the meantime. Hopefully I find that die. Okay. Let's see what else. Okay, so then we're going to die cut this out. So let me grab my machine again so I can show you that in case you've never seen it. And we'll put our pieces off to the side. I already have those cut, so I don't need to cut those. And so this die here is the one that we're going to use to die cut that out, just like so. Okay. Okay, so I'll set this on here and I'll just line it up. I just run it through. Sometimes it moves a little. If that really bothers you, you could use washi tape. Maybe you were lucky enough to get the magnetic platform before they pulled it off the shop again. They were having quality issues. So that's why they pulled it again. But I've heard some people have not had any problems with it and they've been able to use it just fine. So if you have one, hopefully that's you. Okay, and so then it die cuts our little image just like so. Okay. Okay, so now we have all our pieces and we're ready to assemble. So again, fold our base in half. And then we need to do some stamping on here. So I have stamped behind the vellum on here. Okay, so for that, we need this little image here. And I used the Sahara sand. And all I did was come in and just do some random random stamping down across the card. Okay? Just turn it different directions, and then you got yourself a nice little background. Now, when we adhere this vellum, when you use vellum, you can often see the glue come through. So I'm going to be mindful of where I glue this down, and I'm going to glue it down where I plan to stick this, so that I can cover that spot. Okay, it doesn't need to be totally glued down. It'll pretty much stay flat. So I just put some liquid glue like so. There are vellum adhesives you can get from other companies, but I like to use Stampin' Up products. So, and this works. So, okay. So then we're ready to put our little pot on, and I'm going to use these little dimensionals here, so that I can kind of leave an opening at the top to tuck my little plants in. Okay. So again, I'm going to put that right over where I put my glue. Okay, and then I'm going to stick this one in there first and glue it down. I think I might have used dimensionals. I'm not sure. Let me see on here. I didn't, but you could if you wanted to. I'm just going to stick that in there, and then I'm just going to stick these on top. Just like so. Okay. And then again, on this one, I'm going to use these coral embellishments just to kind of sprinkle around. And that's our third card. Okay. Alright, and then for our last card. So for the last card, I don't have the sample quite made. So you're just going to watch me make it. So we're going to start with the Whisper White base. Okay, and then our next layer is going to be a layer cut at 1/4 of an inch in the Sahara sand, and then the next layer is going to be Whisper White cut at 1/4 of an inch in as well, and then it's die cut. So if you get a kit, I used one of the larger circles from those shapes dies to cut the circle out. Okay, and so that's what you'll have in your kit. I've already stamped this on the bottom with the Sahara sand. Okay, and then I don't know if you guys know, but this month is Watercolor month, so I'm going to actually watercolor some of the images that we're gonna die cut and put in here. Okay, so in your kit you should have a piece of scrap white. Okay, and so if you're doing the watercoloring, you're gonna need some StazOn. So let me find that. I'm not sure where mine is. 1 second. Okay, found it. So you want to use StazOn, and I'm going to be using our water painters. Okay, when you buy the water painters, you get 3 of them in a package, and the tips are all different sizes. So you have a finer tip here, a thicker tip here, And then this one is kind of like a flat tip, and this is great to do backgrounds in it, or backgrounds with it, sorry. I'm going to use this fine tip one because I'm going to be coloring in some small spaces, okay? Mine already have water in them, but if you've never used them before, you'll unscrew them and you'll fill them with water. And then as you use them, that water will come to the tip and you can pick up your colors, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to stamp our images that we're going to watercolor, okay? And so I'm going to be doing this one here. And I'm going to be doing this one here, okay? So I'm going to stamp both of those. I'm going to move this out of the way. Okay, I'm going to stamp both of these. And my stays on my basic white, okay? And when you stamp these, you want to give it a minute to dry. You don't want it to be wet at all. So I'm going to stamp those. Be mindful this is stays on. And it means what it says. So if you're using this on your stamps, it's they're gonna stay black when you go to clean them. Stampin' Up does sell stays on cleaner. So it looks like this, and it works great to get that black off of your stamps. I wouldn't recommend using it all the time. I'm going to do that one again. Because it can be hard on your stamps, but occasionally, if you want to clean them up. Also, if you get stays on your blocks, it does great for that as well. Okay, hold on. Alright, I'm going to stamp this one again. I could turn that piece of paper over and stamp the other side, but because it's black on white, I feel it might show through, so I don't want to do that. Okay. Much better. So you can see after I clean it, that's what it looks like. It's not bad. Okay. So we'll give that a minute. Let me cut this off here. Okay, and so then we're going to watercolor. So the two colors I'm using to watercolor is the Mint Macaron and the Sahara Sand. And I like to squish the ink pad, the top to the bottom, so that you get some ink on the lid. Okay. I don't like to take my brush directly to the pad. You could. I just choose not to do that. So I feel like you have more control too when you have it on a palette like this. You can control how much ink color you get. Okay. So I recommend, playing with these a little bit before you start coloring, so that so you can figure out how to control the color. Okay. Okay. Whenever you're watercoloring, you want to create a shadow effect. If you want to create a shadow effect, I should say, you need to choose one direction that your sunlight is coming. And so if your sunlight is coming down this way, then everything's going to be darker on this side. Okay. So if that's the case, I'm going to go on heavy on this side and then drag the color through. Remember that you can always add more color, but you can't take it away. So, and because this is watercolored, I'm not necessarily concerned about getting all the way to the edges, okay, because it goes lighter, so. So you can see I start at the base of the leaf and then pull the color. Now this isn't watercolor paper, so you need to be mindful that in that if you work it too much, it's going to start dissolving the paper. So just try not to go over it too many times. Now I'm just coming in and adding some shadows. Okay. And then we'll do the same thing with our green one. So these, you use the same one for each of your colors. And what you do is you just wipe it on, this is just a tissue, to get the tip clean, and then you can move on to your next color. So you can see right here, I've not pushed anything, right? And I've got some water in there. If I wanted more water, I would squeeze this and more water would come out, but it kind of comes out pretty quickly, so you don't want to be doing it over your project. If your brush becomes too wet, then use your towel to dry it off, okay? So again here, I'm going to practice a little till I get it the consistency that I want, okay? And then when I feel comfortable with that, then I will start coming in, and I'll start at the base of the leaf because it's going to get lighter. And so like this leaf, after I get my color on here, I'll start filling in with some of the shading, some of the darker colors. I'll show you that part. Okay, so then you can see kind of where these lines are here. That would be like maybe the underside of the leaf. So then that would probably be darker. So I could come in here and put some of the darker shade in. So that's the nice thing about watercoloring. This is a great, these water painters are a great tool to have if you're limited on your ink pads, because you can make your ink colors several different shades. So I don't want the brush strokes look. So if you're getting the brush strokes, I mean, unless that's the look you're going for, you probably need more water in your brush. So you can play with it as much or as little as you want. This might be something fun just if you stamped a bunch of these images and just kind of practice your watercoloring, maybe while you're watching TV or something. It's kind of fun. But I figured since it was watercolor month, I would show you some watercoloring on these. So then I'm going to die cut these out. Just 2 images, and then I'm going to place them on my card. Okay? So again, if you get the kit to go, these won't be stamped for you. You'll just get the scrap piece of paper. So maybe you have another image, or maybe maybe I sold you on the stamp set and you didn't get it. So then just remember you'll need to stamp them and watercolor them. Okay, so I'm going to take these over here and I'm going to cut them out. I'm just going to take them over to my machine. Okay, and so you can see on mine, I was kind of off a little bit on the die cut, but that's what I love about this stamp set, is it's not perfect, so you don't have to be perfect when you're making your card. Like, it's gonna look like I wanted it that way, right? Okay, so now we're ready to assemble. So take our base, which is the Whisper White. Okay, and then our Sarah sand layer. Okay, and then we could pop this up. I think I'll do that. And I'm going to use my strips here that I have. The foam adhesive strips. So I'll cut a couple of these. I'm just going to cut a couple this length. And I'll cut some more of these. Okay, and then you can just easily peel these off. And stick it on your card. Okay, and then I'm going to just tuck these in. And I'm going to put some dimensionals on them. I'm going to put the mini dimensionals on them. So... And this part here I might glue down just to give it some depth. Okay. So a little liquid glue on that. And I forgot to peel these off. It kind of coming outside my card, right? And then we'll do this one here. Actually, I'm gonna do it like so. Stick that behind there. And then to finish it off, we'll use some of these dots. So I think for this one, I think I will use the pale papaya. Okay, and I'm just gonna like so. Okay, so that's the third card. So pretty easy to recreate if you want to recreate them. Again, if you want to get a kit in the mail, you just need to place an order of $35 or more using my hostess code by the end of day Wednesday. So I'll leave the hostess code open through Wednesday. But these are the cards we made today. So if you joined us late, be sure to watch the replay. Okay. Again, here's my hostess code. Spend $35 or more in my store, and you'll get this card kit for free. I'll email you the link to watch the video on my YouTube channel to see how to put them back together. Spend $50 or more, you'll get the kit and my monthly tutorial bundle for free. And if you haven't checked out that monthly tutorial bundle, it's amazing. There's always over 30 projects in there. Each project is done by a different demonstrator. They're all different skill levels, so it's a lot of fun. The one other thing I wanted to mention is I am going to be publishing a new Everything But Ink class to go, and it's going to actually be featuring an old celebration set, so the Feels Like Home. This was a celebration, I believe, like a year ago. So I'm going to be doing a class to go. Here's a little sneak peek of those cards. So watch for details. I'll include that link. I'll be publishing it this week. I'll have an option to get the stamp set. I have a few of the stamp sets. Once they're gone, they're gone. But all the kits will come with a package of the Eden's Garden Gems, half a package of the Eden Garden Gems, a fourth of a packet of the Designer Series paper. So this was kind of a promotional item at least 6 months ago as well, and so I stocked up on some of that too. So be watching for that. Otherwise, thanks for joining me. Join me again next week, Monday at 4. If you need anything, please don't hesitate to contact me, okay? Have a great day, guys. Thanks for joining. Bye.